Okay, you guys want a scissor, paper, stone? Which one want to start first?
Scissor, paper, stone?
Okay.
I thought it was... Wait.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper,
Wait,
scissor.
stone, water, but...
But okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Tiga.
Okay.
Okay.
One, two, zoom.
One.
1, 2, zoom.
Zoom.
Okay, you start first.
Okay lah.
Okay.
That was two. Okay.
Farah,
Yes.
Nina, thank you for taking the time to meet up with me today. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please share with me a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
I work in the film and television industry, and I work with Nina in DOPStv, which is an Islamic lifestyle channel, as the digital content producer.
Alhamdulillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Shazrina Azman, but people know me better as Mizz Nina. I was an artist, a singer, a rapper, a dancer. I was basically in the entertainment industry for pretty much most of my life. Alhamdulillah, I reverted back to Islam. Macam revert kan? But yeah, I feel like I'm a revert. I reverted back to Islam in 2013 after I came back from Hajj, and now I have a production company called DOPStv, which is an Islamic lifestyle channel where we come up with different types of programs to promote the beauty of Islam. And Alhamdulillah, you know, through da'wah, I have met a very good friend of mine, Farah.
Have you ever felt oppressed by Islam?
Personally, no, I've never felt oppressed by Islam that I know, but I have felt oppressed by systems which are implemented under the name of Islam. So I think in many places they pick and choose elements of the religion, elements of the law to implement. And the interpretation of the law, I don't think it's well thought of. I don't think the people who implement it really know what it is. So they interpret it however they want to. And unfortunately, a lot of these people are men. You know, this patriarchal system, sometimes they go by the literal translation, or they pick verses, you know, they pick examples which suit them. And yeah, in that regard, absolutely, women have been oppressed under this so-called Sharia system, which is not, in my opinion, not compliant with the real Sharia, which is very protective of women and really protects our rights.
I feel like I've never been, you know, oppressed at all by Islam or by any Muslims, alhamdulillah. I have never really had that experience. When a person or a family or a society, when they practice Islam, that's how it should be. The feeling should be that of safety, of goodness, of peace and calm.
What do you understand about the concept of hijab in Islam?
To me, the concept of hijab is covering one's modesty, covering a woman's modesty, and it is also part of her worship, her ibadah to Allah. I've been a relatively new hijabi. It's been about 2 years or so after I came back from the Hajj. The decision was purely mine. Obviously, throughout the years, I've been advised, you know, especially by my parents and all that, but it was never like a forceful, you know, kata macam arahan. So I decided to do it when I came back because you know, there's always this thought process of whether I'm ready, whether I'm not. I just decided, for me personally, I don't think I will ever be ready enough. So it's something that I just did, and I thought it was going to be like this, you know, everything about my life is going to change. Frankly, no, it's just an extra piece of cloth, and I still can do almost everything that I want to do. So yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. You don't have to worry about, you know, going to the hair salon, you know.
Yeah,
You
totally.
don't have to worry about things like that. Last time kalau nak keluar,
But the only thing we need to worry about is bad. You know, like we have bad hair days. We
Yeah,
also
bad
have like
hijab
bad
days.
hijab days.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it doesn't fall right
Yeah.
sometimes.
But
But it's
you
still always beautiful.
yeah.
I'm a relatively new hijabi as well, like Farah, about 3 years now, I think. 3 years plus. And you know, I came from a lifestyle of thinking that sexy was cool. You know, I grew up in a society that kept telling me that, Nina, if you wear like this is going to be cool, you're going to be more popular. If you wear your makeup like that, if you're going to, you know, show a bit more skin. And so I grew up in a society where I believed that, you know, whatever they said was cool, what was right, okay? And so I grew up trying to please other people. And, you know, when I reverted back to Islam, when I started understanding Islam as it should be understood, when my heart was open to it, I finally realized that covering oneself is actually, you know, it is something that is such a beautiful act of worship for Allah. It is not oppressive. In fact, it gives me freedom. It gives me confidence. It gives me the opportunity to please my maker, and it gives me the opportunity to try to earn Jannah, to earn paradise. So the whole process of really understanding heaven and hell, you know, the heaviness and the truth of the Quran and Sunnah. I mean, once I understood that, it became easier for me to obey the laws of Allah. For me, showing more skin is more oppressive to me than covering. Showing more skin is like slavery to the industries of man. It's awesome to be in hijab, and modesty really is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah. Can I just add something to that? Because you
Go
asked.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you asked what the hijab means, right?
Go ahead,
For me, from my experience in the past, and also to some people that I spoke to, the hijab also means that you're an ambassador to Islam. Because when you wear the hijab, people know you're a Muslim. Sometimes you can look Muslim, you know, but people are not sure. Are you not? But if you put it on, you are definitely, you know, that is part of the teachings of Islam. So when you put on the hijab, yeah, it does carry a certain responsibility, because you know, there's always that when two women do two deviant things, one is in the hijab, one is not. The one in the hijab will always have that extra criticism because she carries that responsibility, that title with her. So I think with the hijab comes a huge responsibility as well. And also in terms of, you know, this whole whether or not putting on the hijab is more oppressive, I don't deny that in some societies that's the case, and I strongly disagree with that. I think that nobody should be forced to wear something, nor should anybody be banned to wear something. You know, like in Paris and all that, they ban burqa. I don't think that is in any way progressive or more liberal. They think they're saving women. But also, I'm very much against the whole, oh, if you don't do it, then therefore there's there's consequences and persecution. I don't think Islam should be preached that way. And I think people who do it willingly, out of their own, you know, their own readiness and their own will, they would not find the need or the desire to like take it off, or, you know. But sometimes I think when people succumb to pressure, either way, that is when sometimes to sustain it becomes a bit of a problem. So if you do it yourself, it's kind of like it's your conscious decisions, or you know, you take responsibility over that.
Do you dress the way that you do because you want to follow the Arabs?
No, I don't dress like the Arabs at all.
The reverse reaction.
Yeah. I think like today I'm very Japanese.
today
Very
is
Japanese.
quite
I'm in a
Japanese.
kimono and
Yep.
No, I don't dress like I do the Arabs. We don't dress like the Arabs at all. Yeah. See, black is slimming.
It is.
So girls generally go for black. So that is not an Arab thing at all.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like I wear black because I think it's cool. It's my favorite color, and I've been wearing black since like a long time ago. It's just the coolest color to be in.
Yeah, and
I mean, come on.
The whole abaya thing, abaya is easy. So sometimes I think a lot of people, especially when they don't want to think so much about what they want to wear, they put on the black abaya because it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's modest, it covers everything. You don't have to worry about, you know, whether
It's about functionality at the end of the day.
yeah.
You know? When it comes to fashion, it's about being comfortable with the clothes that you're wearing. So whether it's going to be a Japanese kimono, an arbaya, a baju kurung, or whatever, you know, I think we, you know, as women should have the, you know, the freedom to wear what we want to wear, as long as it's modest and it's in, you know, Sharia compliant. So I don't think it's really following like certain cultures or anything. I think it's more about, you know, kind of just exploring what we like in terms of fashion, and modest fashion.
Yeah.
Do both of you wear the hijab at home? Like when you sleep?
No.
Go...
I do not wear the hijab at home. No, I step in the door and I take it off if there's no male guests or there's no male relatives that.
So you don't wear the hijab at home?
I don't wear the hijab at home.
You
No.
Oh my god, no, not at all. Like I obviously when we step out, we wear the hijab because we don't want other men to see us, you know, uncovered. But at home, if it's just my husband or my dad, you know, I'm just like off with the hijab. You know, I'm in my shorts, I'm in my t-shirt. You know, and I'm just doing my thing, you know. So definitely no hijab while sleeping.
Of course.
Girls, we need to air out our hair as well, you know. So yeah.
Okay. What is your message to the people who say Islam oppresses women?
This goes to Muslims and non-Muslims. Even Muslims, a lot of Muslim women think that they don't have rights and they are oppressed. A lot of Muslim men think that they can oppress women, and obviously people who are not Muslims, who have never learned the scriptures and all of that, would believe that is the case. Like I said earlier in the conversation, I do understand why people would see it that way. Seeing the climate of the world now, women really look like they are of the lowest rank of societies in some Muslim countries. So I think for people who say that Islam really oppress women is you know, probably if this is important for you, and I think it should be important, we're going to pass judgment towards it. So to do your reading, to really understand the religion and to not judge the religion by its followers. because the followers are terribly flawed. All of people are flawed. We have mistakes, but the religion is not.
Yeah.
The rule of God, God's laws, it's flawless. But women's interpretation, there's plenty of things that can be improved there. So I suppose don't just refer to human beings and scholars and all that. Refer to the scriptures, refer to the books, refer to the traditions of the Prophet ﷺ. He was he was the most just of creation. Yeah, he was very just in his rulings. He the way he protected women who were looked down by society, the way he would stand up for them and things like that. Maybe look at those historical evidences first before you look at what's happening in the world today.
Remember, Islam is perfect and Muslims are not. Do not base or judge Islam based on one person's actions, because that's not it. Please read up on Islam, on the scriptures, about the Quran, read about the history and the life of our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW, and at the same time get to know some Muslims in your community. Get to know
I promise
them.
you we're very normal.
Yeah.
Muslims are very normal, to the fact that sometimes we can be so terribly boring. We don't have this big hidden agenda that everybody goes, that's a Muslim agenda to convert the world and to create a caliphate. No, we're quite...
we're normal people.
We're normal people.
So whatever it is, have an open heart. Do not be afraid of us.
I think women in general, not just Muslim women, really know your rights. Learn your rights, understand your position in society, and understand your position in the eyes of God. And I think nowadays it's good that there's so many women support groups. Some people say it's easy for us to say we live in a society where there's open discussion, we have lawyers, we have a proper court system and things like that, which is not the case for everywhere in the world. And it's not the case. Muslim women's rights are different for Muslims who are not in Muslim countries, for example. But there's always solutions to it. There's always people that you can turn to.
There's always a way, there's always hope.
There's always hope. So don't, know your rights. Don't just believe what is being taught to you. Read up on it, learn on it, and inshallah, you will...
Knowledge is key. Knowledge is
key.
power. Now, don't tell me Islam does not give us rights.
Don't tell me that.